Behind the gilded gates of Buckingham Palace, a storm brews that not even the most seasoned royal watchers could have predicted. The world may know King Charles III as the stoic, composed monarch, but inside the corridors of power, tension, and secrecy have reached a fever pitch. The latest revelation about Lilibet, the young daughter of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, has not only shaken the foundation of the royal family, but threatens to redefine the public image of the monarchy itself. The catalyst? A declaration that stunned the youngest Sussex child's father, King Charles, with his health reportedly in a precarious state, publicly and privately signaled that Lilibet would not be recognized as part of the royal lineage. This statement, delivered with measured authority, was not made in a press conference or a ceremonial announcement. It was made behind closed doors, reportedly during a moment when the king's health was faltering, emphasizing both the gravity and immediacy of the situation. The timing could not have been more calculated or more devastating for Prince Harry. Insiders reveal that the king's deteriorating health, compounded by decades of carefully guarded palace strategies, played a crucial role in the disclosure. For months, Charles has been quietly orchestrating the narrative, ensuring that the revelation would land at the exact moment he deemed suitable, exposing deep familial rifts while reinforcing his authority. The stakes could not be higher, a monarch balancing the demands of duty, public perception, and the private turmoil that comes from confronting the unexpected. Harry, who has always walked the line between public scrutiny and private devotion, reportedly received the news like a thunderclap. For a man who envisioned bedtime stories, birthday celebrations, and ordinary familial bonds for his daughter, the revelation struck with the force of betrayal. Every moment of tenderness, every intimate glance, every shared laugh was suddenly cast in doubt. How could a father reconcile the love for his child with the crushing weight of a statement that undermined her very place in the lineage he revered? Adding fuel to the fire, Camilla, the queen consort, appears to have distanced herself from the crisis. Sources close to the palace claim she has, in effect, abandoned her role in offering support or guidance, leaving Harry to navigate the emotional and political fallout largely alone. Her absence during critical family discussions has been noted by insiders as both deliberate and strategic, a move that further isolates the prince and amplifies the sense of betrayal. Meghan Markle, meanwhile, has been portrayed as playing a dual role, protector and provocateur. Her decision to name their daughter Lilibet, an affectionate nickname long associated with Queen Elizabeth II, is seen by some palace observers as a subtle challenge to royal tradition. Meghan's influence reportedly encouraged Harry to distance himself from the institution, creating a perfect storm of conflict between the couple and the senior royals. The strategic implications of this choice, combined with the timing of Charles's revelation, have left many questioning whether Meghan fully understood the seismic impact of her actions on Harry and the royal family. The tension extends beyond private disagreements. Reports indicate that the revelation of Lilibet's lineage has reignited dormant disputes about inheritance, titles, and succession, bringing into sharp focus the issue of the Sussexes' exclusion from the king's will. Allegedly, Harry was confronted with a stark reality. His expectations of equality within the royal family, particularly concerning his children, were at odds with the king's plans. This perceived rejection has not only strained father-son relations, but has also prompted whispers of legal and media battles that could redefine the monarchy's internal dynamics. Catherine, Princess of Wales, meanwhile, has emerged as a stabilizing figure amid the chaos. Despite repeated accusations, especially from Meghan's camp, that she orchestrated or influenced palace decisions against the Sussexes, sources stress that Catherine remains untouched by scandal, maintaining a composed and principled presence. Her discretion and careful management of public appearances contrast sharply with the unfolding turmoil, reinforcing her role as a key anchor in the palace hierarchy. Yet, the drama is far from contained. Camilla, often seen making oblique remarks about the palace's inner workings, continues to add a layer of psychological complexity to the situation. Observers note that her veiled comments about palace secrets and strategic maneuverings have heightened Harry's sense of isolation and vulnerability. In this atmosphere, every gesture, every whispered conversation, and every subtle change in tone takes on outsized importance. Nothing is casual. Everything carries meaning. Public perception and media scrutiny now amplify every action and reaction. Rumors circulate about private communications, intercepted emails, and selective leaks, all painting a portrait of a palace racked by tension and strategic maneuvering. As Harry and Meghan attempt to protect Lilibet from exposure, they find themselves navigating a minefield of palace politics, public opinion, and familial expectations. The question on everyone's lips: can the Sussexes retain their dignity and familial bond while the monarchy exerts its influence? Or is this the beginning of an irreversible rupture? As this story unfolds, one fact becomes increasingly clear: the health of King Charles, the deliberate distancing by Camilla, the public and private tensions with Harry and Meghan, and the careful, unwavering composure of Catherine are all interconnected threads in a narrative that challenges the very core of the British monarchy. For royal watchers and casual observers alike, the intrigue, betrayal, and strategic calculations unfolding behind closed doors may represent the most consequential chapter in recent royal history. The palace corridors, once symbols of tradition and stability, now echo with whispers of discontent, strategic maneuverings, and the silent yet explosive implications of a secret revealed. The consequences of this revelation will not remain private for long. As media outlets dissect each action and statement, the world watches, riveted by a drama that seems to blur the lines between monarchy, family, and personal identity. As part 1 closes, the tension is palpable. Harry is shaken, Meghan's strategy is scrutinized, Camilla's intentions remain enigmatic, and Catherine stands resolute. The question remains: how will the monarchy navigate this unprecedented storm? And what will become of Lilibet, the young girl at the heart of the controversy? The answers promise to redefine not only familial bonds, but the public perception of the royal family for years to come. The palace, long viewed as a symbol of unshakable tradition, has transformed into a theater of subtle warfare. At the center of this storm is Camilla, Queen Consort, whose absence during critical family deliberations speaks louder than any public pronouncement. Insiders describe her actions, or, perhaps more accurately, her inaction, as deliberate, a method of allowing tension to escalate while preserving her own position. By withdrawing from the front line, Camilla effectively leaves Prince Harry exposed to the full brunt of the palace's scrutiny and the emotional weight of King Charles's revelation. Sources suggest that Camilla has, for years, maintained a complex duality: publicly supportive, yet privately calculating. Her whispered remarks about palace secrets and the hidden truths of the royal household, often delivered with a subtle air of condescension, have contributed to the anxiety and confusion surrounding Harry. Every glance, every word, every suggestion of loyalty or allegiance is interpreted through a lens of doubt. In the high-stakes world of the monarchy, even silence can serve as a weapon. Meghan Markle, for her part, is perceived as deliberately amplifying tensions. Her insistence on naming her daughter Lilibet, a name long and affectionately reserved for Queen Elizabeth II, has been viewed within palace circles as both symbolic and provocative. The act was not merely affectionate, it carried the implicit message of defiance, challenging the traditional hierarchy and asserting a claim of emotional and cultural significance within the royal narrative. Observers note that Meghan's actions encouraged Harry to further distance himself from the monarchy, reinforcing a sense of rebellion that has now collided with the stark authority of King Charles. Advisors and palace aides find themselves in an impossible position. Long accustomed to managing royal appearances, public relations, and sensitive family matters, they are now faced with a situation where private dynamics and public perception intersect with unprecedented volatility. Confidential memos, intercepted emails, and selective information leaks suggest that some aides have attempted to warn Harry, while others remain aligned with the strategic interests of the senior royals. The result is a labyrinth of communication, in which trust becomes a scarce commodity, and every interaction is scrutinized for hidden intent. Meanwhile, Catherine, Princess of Wales, continues to navigate the storm with measured precision. Despite being falsely accused by Meghan's camp of orchestrating palace decisions or influencing family disputes, Catherine maintains her composure. Sources emphasize that her public appearances, charitable work, and interactions with both senior royals and the media are meticulously calculated to avoid scandal. In a climate rife with accusation and misdirection, Catherine's steadiness acts as a stabilizing force, a quiet counterbalance to the escalating chaos surrounding Harry and Meghan. The media frenzy adds a new layer of complexity. Royal correspondents, social commentators, and online forums dissect every statement and action, amplifying tensions and speculating about motives. Reports of Harry's shock, Camilla's distancing, Meghan's strategic provocations, and Catherine's composed defiance circulate widely, creating a narrative that oscillates between empathy, outrage, and fascination. Each leak, each subtle gesture, and each interpreted expression is magnified in a public spectacle that the palace has long sought to control, but now struggles to contain. Psychologically, the implications for Harry are profound. He faces the dual challenge of processing a personal revelation that shakes the foundation of his identity as a father, while contending with strategic maneuvers designed to test his resolve. The combination of Camilla's withdrawal, Meghan's provocative actions, and Charles's carefully timed disclosure has left him navigating a labyrinth of emotion, loyalty, and strategy. Every decision carries consequences not only for his immediate family but for the perception of the monarchy on a global stage. Observers note that the palace operates like a complex chessboard. Every piece, be it a senior royal, an advisor, or a strategic spouse, moves with calculated intent. The revelation about Lilibet, King Charles's health vulnerabilities, and the emotional strain on Harry serve as both a check and a challenge within this intricate game. As power dynamics shift, alliances are tested, and long-standing loyalties are re-evaluated. In this context, the monarchy is not merely a symbol of tradition. It becomes a battleground of influence, strategy, and personal stakes. The fallout is ongoing. Each public engagement, social media commentary, and strategic statement is scrutinized for hidden meanings. Every glance between Harry and Catherine, every calculated smile by Meghan, every measured word from Camilla becomes fodder for speculation. For the world outside the palace, the drama unfolds as a captivating narrative of secrets, strategy, and familial tension. But for those inside, the implications are deeply personal, blending health concerns, trust, betrayal, and legacy into a volatile mix that threatens to reshape the royal household for generations. As this chapter continues, the questions multiply. Will Harry reconcile with the monarchy under these conditions? Can Meghan navigate her role without exacerbating tensions? How will Camilla's ambiguous positioning influence the long-term dynamics? And where does Catherine's steadfast composure fit into a story increasingly defined by uncertainty, power plays, and the delicate balance between public image and private turmoil? The palace, long a sanctuary of tradition and continuity, now serves as a stage for human drama at its most intricate, and the world watches, captivated by every turn, every revelation, and every carefully orchestrated move. The revelation of Lilibet's lineage has sent seismic waves through the royal household, reverberating far beyond the private chambers of Buckingham Palace. For Prince Harry, the news was more than a shock. It was a direct challenge to his identity, his role as a father, and the carefully constructed narrative he and Meghan had worked to maintain since leaving royal duties. Sources describe the moment as devastating, surreal, and disorienting, leaving Harry grappling with feelings of betrayal, disbelief, and profound vulnerability. Every cherished memory of his daughter was suddenly scrutinized through the prism of uncertainty. King Charles III, acutely aware of the strategic and emotional weight of his disclosure, reportedly timed the revelation to coincide with a period when Harry would be most exposed emotionally, physically, and publicly. With his health reportedly fragile, the king approached the matter with a mixture of paternal authority and calculated precision. Insiders claim that Charles meticulously orchestrated the conversation, measuring every phrase, pause, and intonation to maximize clarity while asserting control. In doing so, he reinforced not only his authority as the sovereign, but also the subtle hierarchy within the family, a reminder that the monarchy's decisions extend beyond sentiment and personal relationships. The immediate effect on Harry was intense. Those closest to him recount that he experienced a visceral mix of anger, grief, and confusion, compounded by a sense of isolation. Camilla's conspicuous absence, which palace insiders describe as deliberate, exacerbated his sense of being unsupported. While the queen consort's strategic retreat may have been intended to maintain her influence or avoid direct confrontation, the practical effect was to leave Harry navigating a storm of familial and institutional pressures largely alone. The lack of guidance or mediation in this emotionally charged environment amplified every uncertainty, leaving the prince to confront a reality he could scarcely have anticipated. Amid the chaos, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has remained a model of composure and discretion. Contrary to the accusations circulated by Meghan's camp that Catherine played a role in orchestrating palace decisions against the Sussexes, sources emphasize her restraint and professionalism. Every public appearance, private engagement, and interaction with palace staff is reportedly managed with care, signaling stability amid escalating tension. Catherine's ability to project calm and authority serves not only as a counterpoint to the unfolding turmoil, but also as a protective buffer for the monarchy's image, ensuring that the narrative does not spiral into unchecked scandal. Media outlets, social commentators, and royal correspondents have capitalized on the unfolding drama. Every gesture, expression, and public interaction is dissected for hidden meaning. Speculation about inheritance disputes, titles, and succession has intensified, creating a pressure cooker environment for all involved. The revelation about Lilibet's lineage, combined with King Charles's health concerns and the strategic positioning of key figures, has turned the palace into both a physical and psychological battlefield. Every corridor, meeting room, and private conversation is now infused with heightened scrutiny and unspoken tension. Psychologically, Harry faces a unique dilemma. The revelation challenges his paternal instincts, calling into question the very foundation of his relationship with Lilibet. At the same time, it forces him to navigate a complex network of familial expectations, palace protocol, and public scrutiny. Each decision carries weight, not just for his immediate family, but for the reputation and continuity of the monarchy itself. Balancing emotional authenticity with strategic restraint has become an imperative, a delicate tightrope walk, where one misstep could have far-reaching consequences. Meanwhile, Meghan's influence continues to shape the dynamics. Her strategic foresight and assertive approach to media engagement, coupled with her ability to anticipate palace maneuvers, has created both opportunities and friction. While some see her actions as protective of her family, others perceive them as deliberately provocative, further complicating Harry's capacity to reconcile personal loyalty with institutional expectations. The tension between Meghan's assertiveness and the palace's structured hierarchy illuminates a broader conflict between personal agency and traditional authority. King Charles, for his part, maintains a complex duality. Publicly, he embodies the composed, empathetic monarch, emphasizing duty, tradition, and continuity. Privately, he demonstrates strategic acumen, carefully navigating both personal relationships and institutional imperatives. The timing and nature of the DNA revelation reveal his ability to exert influence even under circumstances of compromised health, a reminder that leadership within the monarchy is as much about timing, perception, and subtle control as it is about ceremonial obligation. As this chapter unfolds, Catherine's role becomes increasingly critical. Her ability to remain untainted by scandal, to manage public perception, and to serve as a stabilizing force contrasts sharply with the turbulence surrounding Harry and Meghan. In a climate where every word, gesture, and decision is scrutinized, Catherine represents continuity, discretion, and an unwavering commitment to preserving the monarchy's dignity. Observers and insiders alike note that the DNA revelation is not merely a personal family matter, it is a crucible testing relationships, loyalty, and institutional resilience. For Harry, the challenge is to reconcile fatherhood with betrayal. For Meghan, to assert agency without inflaming tensions. And for Catherine, to uphold stability amid unprecedented upheaval. King Charles's calculated disclosure, coupled with his ongoing health concerns, ensures that the unfolding saga will continue to dominate royal narratives, media discourse, and public fascination for months to come. As the palace adjusts to the shockwaves of this revelation, questions multiply. Can Harry and Meghan navigate a path that safeguards Lilibet while addressing the broader implications for the family? How will Charles manage the dual demands of personal concern and sovereign duty under the strain of health challenges? And what role will Catherine play in ensuring that the monarchy's image remains resilient, even as internal and external pressures threaten to redefine the royal landscape? The answers remain uncertain, but one thing is clear. The DNA revelation has fundamentally altered the dynamics of the British royal family, creating a crisis of identity, loyalty, and power that will be felt for generations. In the quiet halls of Buckingham Palace, where whispers once carried unseen weight, the reverberations of this disclosure continue to echo, shaping decisions, alliances, and the very fabric of royal life. Tensions reached a critical juncture as Harry confronted King Charles regarding the revelation of Lilibet's lineage. Sources report that the encounter, set in one of the quieter private chambers of Buckingham Palace, carried a gravity that left Harry momentarily speechless. The prince, accustomed to handling media scrutiny and public controversies, found himself unprepared for the personal and intimate nature of this revelation. The words spoken by Charles, delivered with measured authority, struck at the core of Harry's identity, challenging not only his role as a father, but also the narrative he had built around his family outside the monarchy. King Charles, aware of Harry's potential reactions, orchestrated the meeting with strategic precision. Every pause, every inflection, and even the arrangement of seating served a subtle purpose: to assert authority while observing his son's response. Insiders describe the king's demeanor as simultaneously compassionate and unyielding. Publicly, Charles embodies the patient, understanding sovereign. Privately, he is a tactician, capable of navigating decades of palace intricacies to achieve desired outcomes. This duality has long characterized his leadership style, but in this moment, it magnified the emotional stakes for Harry. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle's strategy remained multifaceted and deliberate. Recognizing the palace's dynamics, she ensured that Harry approached this confrontation with both emotional support and tactical guidance. Meghan's insistence on safeguarding Lilibet's emotional environment combined with her awareness of palace surveillance, positioned her as both a protector and an instigator. Observers note that her actions, while aimed at securing her family, added layers of complexity to the confrontation, highlighting the ongoing tension between personal agency and institutional authority. Camilla's reaction, or rather her strategic non-reaction, further complicated the scenario. By maintaining distance from the confrontation, she allowed the focus to remain on the conflict between Harry and Charles. Sources suggest that this absence was intentional, a means of preserving influence while avoiding direct entanglement. Her calculated silence, paired with occasional subtle remarks regarding palace operations, contributed to Harry's perception of isolation and increased the pressure of the encounter. In this high-stakes moment, Catherine's role remained that of a stabilizing presence. Despite circulating claims that she influenced or orchestrated the events, insiders stress that Catherine's engagement was measured, discreet, and designed to protect the monarchy's integrity. Her calm composure contrasted sharply with the emotional volatility surrounding Harry and Meghan, reinforcing her reputation as a central pillar of continuity within the royal family. The broader implications of the confrontation extend beyond the private realm. Observers and royal commentators highlight that revelations about lineage carry political, social, and symbolic significance within the monarchy. Questions of succession, inheritance, and public perception intersected with deeply personal family dynamics, creating a scenario where every decision, word, and gesture held amplified meaning. The ripple effects of this moment continue to influence interactions across the palace, shaping alliances, strategic decisions, and media narratives. Harry, grappling with shock and pain, now faces the ongoing challenge of reconciling paternal love with institutional realities. Charles, navigating both health concerns and sovereign responsibilities, demonstrates the careful balance of authority and strategy. Meghan's proactive maneuvering ensures that her family's interests remain visible, while Camilla's indirect influence subtly shapes outcomes behind the scenes. Amid this intricate web of tension, Catherine remains an emblem of resilience, ensuring that the monarchy retains a semblance of stability in a period defined by uncertainty and high-stakes personal conflict. The revelation regarding Lilibet's lineage has left Prince Harry grappling with profound emotional and psychological strain. Close sources reveal that the prince experienced a combination of shock, grief, and disbelief in the immediate aftermath. Even someone accustomed to intense public scrutiny was unprepared for the deeply personal nature of this confrontation. Harry reportedly spent hours in reflection, weighing the implications not only for his role as a father, but also for the carefully curated narrative he and Meghan had established since stepping back from royal duties. The psychological weight was compounded by the relentless attention of the media. News outlets, eager for exclusive insights, dissected every potential angle of the story. Analysts highlighted the unique challenge for Harry, navigating a crisis that was intensely private while being under the glare of global observation. Every gesture, every public statement, and every interaction with palace staff became a potential headline. Sources describe Harry as oscillating between attempts at composure and moments of vulnerability, a human response magnified by the high-stakes environment of the monarchy. Internationally, the story quickly escalated into a media frenzy. Royal correspondents and social commentators dissected Charles's timing and motives, Meghan's strategic positioning, and Harry's reaction. Public discourse varied widely, with some audiences expressing sympathy for Harry and Lilibet, while others debated the responsibilities of the monarchy and the ethics of personal disclosure. The complexity of the narrative, intertwined with issues of health, succession, and family loyalty, created a multifaceted media phenomenon. Each new report added layers of pressure, intensifying the emotional strain on all parties involved. King Charles, acutely aware of the dynamics at play, has reportedly taken a measured approach to the unfolding crisis. Insiders describe the monarch as carefully evaluating every response, balancing the need to maintain authority with the imperative to protect the integrity of the institution. His health concerns add another dimension to his calculations. The king must manage both personal vulnerability and public duty, ensuring that each decision aligns with long-term strategic objectives. Every meeting, correspondence, and private discussion is now executed with heightened awareness of timing, optics, and potential repercussions. Catherine's role continues to be pivotal. As a stabilizing presence, she navigates the intersection of public perception and family loyalty with discretion. Her calm and composed demeanor has become a counterbalance to the turbulence surrounding Harry and Meghan. By maintaining consistency in her engagements and interactions, Catherine not only safeguards the monarchy's image, but also provides a subtle psychological anchor for those navigating the palace's intricate dynamics. Meanwhile, Meghan's influence persists in shaping the narrative. Her foresight in anticipating palace maneuvers, combined with a strategic approach to media engagement, ensures that the Sussex perspective remains prominent. While some view her actions as protective, others interpret them as provocative, further complicating Harry's ability to reconcile personal loyalty with institutional expectations. This interplay between strategy, emotion, and public perception underscores the delicate balance required in managing the crisis. As the palace continues to adapt, the long-term implications for Harry, Lilibet, and the monarchy remain uncertain. The psychological toll on Harry is undeniable, compounded by the relentless media scrutiny and the complex interplay of personal and institutional dynamics. King Charles, despite health concerns, remains at the helm, orchestrating responses with deliberate precision. Catherine's stabilizing influence, paired with Meghan's assertive maneuvering, ensures that the unfolding events will continue to dominate royal discourse, testing loyalties, authority, and the resilience of the British monarchy. In the days following the revelation, the palace atmosphere has remained tense, as every corridor and chamber hums with whispered speculation. Harry's shock has evolved into a cautious deliberation over his next moves, balancing his love for Lilibet with the intricate obligations and pressures of the royal institution. Sources indicate that he remains deeply unsettled, navigating the delicate terrain between personal grievance and public duty. King Charles, despite ongoing health concerns, continues to exercise calculated control over the situation. His timing, strategic disclosures, and measured interactions reflect a monarch determined to preserve authority while mitigating potential disruption. Each decision is weighed with both immediate impact and long-term consequence in mind, ensuring that the institution's stability remains paramount even amid personal and familial turmoil. Catherine's steadfastness remains evident. She continues to act with discretion, maintaining calm public appearances and private engagements, ensuring that the monarchy's image of continuity and resilience endures. Her role as a stabilizing force contrasts sharply with Meghan's assertive maneuvering, highlighting the divergent approaches within the family, measured preservation versus proactive challenge. Camilla, ever the enigmatic presence, subtly influences events through her quiet observations and occasional insinuations. Her strategic distance, coupled with hints regarding the palace's inner workings, adds another layer of complexity to the already tense familial dynamics. Meghan's response, including public and private statements, continues to cast her as a provocative figure, yet one whose protective instincts for her family are undeniable. As the story reverberates through the media and public consciousness, the implications for the monarchy are profound. Questions of loyalty, lineage, and authority intersect with personal relationships, creating a scenario where every gesture is scrutinized and every decision carries amplified significance. The unfolding drama is a reminder of the delicate balance required to sustain an institution steeped in history while confronting the very human complexities of its members. The revelation concerning Lilibet is more than a private family matter. It has become a defining moment for the British monarchy. How Harry, Meghan, Charles, Catherine, and Camilla navigate the coming months will not only shape familial relations, but also influence public perception, succession considerations, and the enduring legacy of one of the world's most scrutinized royal families. In this evolving saga, the palace's opulent walls conceal a storm of emotion, strategy, and consequence that will resonate for years to come.